The defeat of Alabama Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore was only the second worst possible result for the grand old party of Lincoln and Reagan. The worst would have been if Moore had won. Judge Moore had the backing of Donald Trump's former top strategist, Steve Bannon, and snatched the Republican nomination away from establishment conservative Senator Luther Strange in September, just before the multiple allegations of Moore's sexual contact with girls as young as 14 emerged. Mainstream conservatives had to agonize over whether to support the Republican nominee just as they did with their presidential nominee, Donald Trump, after claims of sexual assault were made against him last year. Mr. Trump, who had gone against his gut to back Senator Strange over Roy Moore in the primary, endorsed the controversial judge last week, because he said he needed the Republican vote in the Senate. It was the same devil's bargain Republicans made with Trump last year, only this time, they all lost. In ordinary times, a Republican candidate would have won in Alabama by close to 30%. No Democrat has won in a statewide election since 1992. But these are far from ordinary times. The result, while close, shows the deep racial and gender divides that persist in the United States, and nowhere more so than in the Deep South. Exit polls showed 97% of black women supported Democrat Doug Jones, who made his name prosecuting the murderers of 4 schoolgirls, killed in the infamous bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama, in 1963. Yet 74% of white men supported Republican Roy Moore, who stands accused of seducing and sexually assaulting schoolgirls in the 1970s and 80s. White women were still overwhelmingly in favor of Judge Moore by 65% to 33%, but among women who have a daughter under 18, 65% said they supported Doug Jones. That says something about the conservative skew among older, white Americans, but surely also something about their preparedness to believe their candidate is a pedophile. The result is certainly a blow for Mr. Trump. The 2 candidates he supported in Alabama this year, first Luther Strange, and now Roy Moore, have lost. For those establishment Republicans, who like Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee described the White House as an adult daycare center, and Senator Jeff Flake of Arizona who said Trump was reckless, outrageous and undignified, the loss is the lesser of 2 evils. Had just over 10,000 Alabama voters cast their ballots for Roy Moore instead of Doug Jones, Judge Moore would have been heading for Washington. That would not only have posed a serious moral question about whether they would allow a man facing such accusations to be seated, but may have cleared the way for more Bannon-backed populists to be elected in 2018. As it happens, Republicans have lost a Senate seat, but keep a grip on their flailing political party, which despite holding both houses of Congress and the White House, has struggled to get very much achieved in 2017. That lost seat will make future legislation tougher.